started 4th and finished 7th after a bit of a collision with Max Verstappen. But let's see what they say about the track and everything. So, shh.
This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
Lots of low-speed exits means the rears are in for a lot of punishment. It's all too easy to spin them up coming out of a corner too aggressively. It might look great for us as spectators, as we love to see a car driven beyond its limits, but it's not going to result in a great long-run pace.
Alright, so here we are for a one-shot quali then at the Monaco Grand Prix. We're going to put on our Just remembered, I don't actually have a Monaco setup. So if you just bear with me 1 second. I do have one, but it got corrupted. So if you can just bear with me, like, for just 1 second, while this is happening. If you go onto my YouTube channel, which you're on because you're watching this video, then I have a setup video for every track, including Monaco. So if you just bear with me 1 second. Just trying to locate my Monaco setup. Here we go. So if I do this correctly, I believe it's 11 wings, and then if we go 50-60% live setup videos for you guys, because this is what you tuned in for, isn't it? Not. And then we go bam, 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 and would you like to guess where this goes? Bam. I bet you probably got that wrong. And then we're gonna go 3, 3, 6, 7, 6, 7. Brakes. Would you like to guess this one as well? I mean, you'd probably get it wrong because you're not very good at guessing. But you can, if you did guess it right, yes, it's 80% and 50% if you've beaten me to my tutorial by the time I'm doing this live. Tyres, would you like to guess, or shall I just do it? If I go all the way to the left of the top one, where do you think the bottom one's going to go? All the way to the... No, I'm joking. We're going to go all the way to the left, and we're going to save that in Monaco. Boom! Oh, that's so... Look at that. 2019 FIA Formula 1 World Championship. Look how it just squeezes. I'm going to have to change that down the lines, but for now that will do as our Monaco setup. Let's go to the track. So here we are in the beautiful red Ferrari in Sebastian Vettel's Ferrari into turn 1 at Monaco. Beautifully executed. We're now in P1 going up the hill into, I believe this is Casino Square, or is that Casino Square? I can't remember. We hit the ball on the inside, but we still lead the way so far into the slowest corner on the calendar, taking first gear, short shift after second for a bit more traction. Now as we go approach the tunnel into the Novo chicane, as you get blinded by the lights before braking into the chicane. Be careful not to hit the wall on the inside. I broke a little bit early there, but it's all fine and dandy as we go a little bit wide, missing the apex completely. So far it's a clean lap, a little bit loose on the curbs, but through Raskas now, penultimate corner, on through the final corner, we can open the DRS. We ran out of our ERS, I haven't managed that at all, and it's going to be our first pole position.
Fantastic, you've got pole.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Vettel, Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So, we line up on first, followed by our second closest championship rival now, Lewis Hamilton, our teammate Coleman, in P4, 6 tenths behind us. So let's get into the race then for the Monaco Grand Prix. This is going to be really fun. Can't wait. Let's let the commentators do their bit. So, shh, be quiet. Shh, it's starting. Shh.
If you can't tell by the roar of the crowds, it's race day, and I think it's gearing up to be a really special one. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars climb around 40 metres up through Beau Rivage, onto the casino, and then descending down towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners here, 7 to the left and 11 to the right. There's one single DRS zone as well, so don't expect that to make overtaking any easier today. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Albon, Norris, Magnussen, Hülkenberg and Carlos Sainz, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Romain Grosjean and Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Stroll, Sergio Perez and Pierre Gasly. Russell and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So once again, the two Williamses are rounding up the grid.
Okay, it's a short run to Saint-Devote, and you know what Monaco's like, so try to defend this lead.
Yeah, so like I was gonna say, two Williamses are starting in last again. However, we have managed to put ourselves up on pole position. Pitting lap 6 for the medium tyres after qualifying on the softs. We're going to bring the fuel down a little bit so we can burn some this race. And let's see what we can do from pole position here at the Monaco Grand Prix. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for the Monaco Grand Prix. Round 6 in the Sebastian Vettel career mode. It's a short run to turn 1, which we've completely obliterated. That's quite a big corner cut, actually. I'm not sure if that can be uploaded to YouTube, but it's gonna have to deal. We're gonna have to deal with that, actually. And we still lead the way. Hamilton's still in second, followed by Valtteri Bottas. And they say it's hard to overtake here. It's almost impossible. They say it's to overtake you. So we'll have to see whether we can defend our lead or whether we'll see any major position changes in the midfield. Whether we'll get and how many safety cars we'll get with the AI. Damage is on full, so it is more than, well, it's possible to knock off a bit of your front wing, which we will probably do 100 times in this race. Into the Noval chicane for the first time. We take that pretty decently, get a good exit, slightly better than Hamilton's exits. We almost brushed the wall on the right hand side, approaching the swimming pool section. And we've got another corner cut, but no warning, so that's excellent for us. And now through the final corner, we lead lap 1. Hamilton still in second, followed by Bottas, and then our teammate Charles Leclerc in 4th. I think Verstappen still leads from Albon, and then I'm not sure about the rest. Anyway, up the hill now, a bit of a long left-hander for a quick right-hander. We do hit the wall on the inside and knock a little bit of our front wing off, but that won't be too much damage.
It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage.
As Jeff confirmed, it will need replacing. We do take more damage to it, but it's not in the yellow yet, so it's not too bad. It's only a light green, so hopefully our performance won't be affected too badly, and we can extend the gap to Lewis Hamilton behind us. This is currently good points for us in the championship. Not so much for Leclerc, as he always get jumped by Hamilton probably, and us potentially if we get a good result. But in terms of constructors, we're doing pretty well. We're getting the full 25 points and 1 for fastest lap as it stands. But it's only been one lap and we had a bit of an issue with the barrier again.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
I'm going to try an esports tactic and pit on the first few laps and firstly get the wing repaired and hopefully be able to push while everyone else gets stuck behind each other. I've seen it work in the virtual Grand Prix and the esports, so we'll have to see how if it works for us. It's a 9-second pit stop. We will come out behind the two Williamses, so hopefully we can catch them after lap 6, maybe, if just so we don't get held up too much. But it'd be great if everyone in front of us was to pit. DRS is now enabled. Well, let's see if we can go to the end on these medium tyres. I have done it before in a few other races, but Monaco's quite harsh on the rears with its low speed corners.
DRS is now available.
Jeff is confirming that DRS is now online, and we'll be able to use that when we get within a 1-second window of the car in front, which is now 9 seconds. So hopefully we can close in on the Williams and make an overtake as soon as possible and come out in front of Lewis Hamilton after the pit stop phase. But we seem to have an incident in the next part of the track. Yellow flags, and we have a safety car. I think it's Antonio Giovinazzi and Russell and Ricciardo and Raikkonen's crashed. Daniel Kvyat's out of the session, so after 3 laps we've already had a victim to this race. And there you can see the stricken Toro Rosso probably going side by side and hit the inside barrier. But I think Kimi Raikkonen and Daniel Ricciardo might also have some damage to their wing, so maybe we'll see them come into the pits and we'll jump a few positions. But the leader's staying out, other than a Mercedes and a Red Bull. So this has not worked for us, pitting early, and they have come out ahead of us. So that's really bad news for us, as we come out in front of Sainz and Hulkenberg, thankfully, and Ricciardo stays out. So maybe the two Renaults came together potentially, but we now have two cars separating ourselves, and I believe that's Verstappen and Hamilton. Can't be too sure, but hopefully they get stuck behind some other cars and we'll be able to push on the AI and get those positions back as soon as possible. But the safety cars kind of helped us a little bit manage our tyres to the end and also gain some time on those who haven't pitted. Apologies. But we've had one retirement so far from this. One victim into the Noval chicane at the Monaco Grand Prix. Probably expecting more retirements or more crashes in this race. We've already hit the barrier a few times, as the safety car's now backing everyone up into the final few corners. I think we'll go green flag on the next lap, as not everyone's caught up to the back of the pack, and this is only going to be the first lap of the safety car. So currently P14 after qualifying on first, but we have made our pit stop. I'm just going to... Actually, no, I'm not going to check. I was going to check which Mercedes and Red Bull pitted, but I think it'll be more anticlimactic... It'll be more climactic and dramatic when we find out ourselves which one it is. But currently a Mercedes leads, followed by our teammate Charles Leclerc, and then one of the Red Bulls, which we are unaware of at this current stage. It's Verstappen and Hamilton who pitted. Interesting. So Bottas leads the race. So maybe another safety car will help him out get back into the race. But it seems to be that the two Alfa Romeos came together, as they're currently running in 19th and 18th after probably double stacking with the front wing change, and that's cost Antonio Giovinazzi a lot of time. But the safety car will help him regain to the back of the catch up to the back of the field. But they've also made their pit stop, so maybe we'll see the two Alfa Romeos getting some good points if they can manage their medium tyres to the end of the race. As we are falling too far back actually, so we're going to have to just catch up a little bit. We don't want to get a penalty. We have caught up though, thankfully, and yeah, nothing to worry about. We're going to try and warm up the tyres a little bit. We're probably going to go green flag racing there. There we go. We're going to go racing on lap number 6 out of 20. Almost hit the wall on the inside after trying to itch my nose. That's probably something you didn't need to know, but we got the ERS ready in overtake. We're going to go into a low gear so we can be ready on the ready on the accelerator, ready on the gears, and safety car in this lap. So Valtteri Bottas has gone, and he's going to lead the way into turn 1. We're going to come through the final corner now, and it's not the greatest exit, I'll be honest, but we're now going to chase Ricciardo down to turn 1. Not going to be able to make a move just yet, but he's stuck behind George Russell, so that Williams is going to be going pretty slowly in these opening few laps under the safety car. Hopefully we can negotiate Ricciardo and the Williams, or hopefully Ricciardo can negotiate the Williams so we don't have a tough time stuck behind both of them. Maybe see a move down the inside, but just was to stay behind Ricciardo for now. However, I didn't plan on going for the move, but it has worked. We've only just been able to squeeze around, but we've got a collision with Russell apparently. I don't know if we touched, but must have been a front and rear tyre rubbing. We got the move down on Daniel Ricciardo. It wasn't the cleanest move, but it worked. There was no damage to either of us. And now we're up into P13, chasing down the British driver of George Russell after winning the F2 championship last season. Now in the Williams. Bit of a corner cut, but it's got a move done round the outside into Raskas. He's still there on the inside. We get a little bit of a push on the right hand side from the Williams driver, squeezing him out into the final corner. We're now up into P12 in this race. Now we've got Max Verstappen up in front, who's stuck behind Robert Kubica, who've cut the corner through turn 1, but we've got a good exit going up the hill. Maybe we can see a move inside or outside. I'm going to look maybe for the outside line. We're going to try and go around the outside, but Max positions his car well, so we can't fit our car around. Maybe we'll see a similar move that we've done on his former teammate Daniel Ricciardo, but we're going to go round the outside. That's a move that I've never done before, as he's still there on the right hand side. There's a little bit of contact, but just trying to turn right there is almost, left, it's almost impossible. As we get a beautiful move on Max Verstappen, and that's up into P11. Now we've got to change down Robert Kubica. You can see on the map, Lewis has already got a good gap between us and himself. But we're now going to go for move on Robert Kubica. It's going to be on the right hand side, the outside line. And it's going to be a wonderful move round the outside of the Williams. Hopefully he doesn't go for a move down the inside, and it's us up into P10 after a beautiful move again from us and Sebastian Vettel's Ferrari. We're a man on a mission to come back through this field and hopefully win the race or get a podium at least. But on lap 7 it's a scheduled pit stop for the soft tyres, but some of the AI, well, some of the drivers will probably stay out because of the safety car. We're going to go put the fuel up into rich mix and try and burn some fuel as Lewis Hamilton's stuck behind the Toro Rosso, who I'm going to guess is Pierre Gasly, due to Kvyat retiring from the session, getting collected in that incident which brought out the safety car. We set the fastest first sector, which really shows our true pace here in the Ferrari on these medium tyres. Obviously it's our teammate's home Grand Prix, so we'll see what he can do. He's currently running in P2, chasing down the other Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas. So hopefully we can make a move on Lewis Hamilton before he makes a move on Pierre Gasly after being demoted into the Toro Rosso. Into the Noval chicane, where we saw the crash between a few of the other drivers, bring out the safety car. We negotiate it cleanly. Here's a really tricky corner to either turn too early or too late and hit the barriers on the inside or outside respectively, but another good overtaken manoeuvres Raskas, and what a move that was into the swimming pool section on Lewis Hamilton, but he's going to keep it down the inside. There's a little bit of wheel banging, and the Toro Rosso peels into the pits, and so does our teammate, so everyone's going to lose a lot of time not pitting under the safety car. We don't actually set the fastest lap of the race despite going almost 7 tenths quicker, but we've moved ourselves in front of Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. That's us up into P3. The 2 racing points are in front of us. Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez, the Mexican driver, currently leads this Grand Prix. So maybe a safety car could help them out potentially, maybe, but I'm not sure it would give them too much of an advantage, as we do set another fastest sector 1, almost 2 tenths quicker than our previous lap. As we're now running a P3, the last podium position. However, it will be we will be in first after the 2 drivers in front, who I think started on the medium tyres, haven't pitted in this Grand Prix, so they'll be coming in about lap 14, 15 maybe, for the soft tyres. We'll have to see when they pit, and that was really close to the barrier on the left-hand side. Honestly thought we were going to hit it. Sorry, hang on. Oh, that was really close to the barrier on the left-hand side, and we're now tucked in behind Lance Stroll. Tucked in behind Lance Stroll as we... it's been a really clean race, actually. I just can't remember hitting the barrier other than the opening few laps, but we're going to go for another move down the inside. But it's illegal.
That move was illegal. Return the position.
What if Stroll pipped? So we're going to have to return the position to Lance Stroll. We're going to have to return the position to Lance Stroll. He left it late. We still go 2 tenths quicker, but Lewis Hamilton's now going down the inside. There was a collision with Stroll, so he hit into a side pod, but yeah, we're going to have to go for a fastest lap on the next lap maybe, because we had to lose our momentum on the straight because of that illegal overtake. But we've got a good run on Stroll here. Maybe we can do what we've done on Max Verstappen and try and go round the outside. A little bit of contact, but it means we're going to go down. No, we're not going to go down. Actually, no, we are going to go down the inside. Bit of contact, but luckily no damage, as we're going to try and go round the outside. There's not enough space for two cars to go round the outside here, but we've made it work, unlike Jenson Button and Pascal Wehrlein in 2017, after we saw Pascal Wehrlein onto this side in the barrier. In Jenson Button's return to Formula 1, replacing Fernando Alonso, but we brake late into the Noval chicane, get away with corner cutting, as Stroll is actually holding up Hamilton quite nicely there, so hopefully we can push this lap and get the gap up on Lance Stroll and try and chase down Sergio Perez, who still needs to pit this race. We corner cut it going, but if we can get away with it, we might as well keep going, you know what I mean? If you're going to corner cut and get a warning for it, just like I would say, make the most of it. Don't cut the corner then go slow and get a warning. Corner cut and make the most of your corner cutting.
We're leading our teammate by 12.7 seconds.
So Charles Leclerc's actually lost 12 seconds for not hitting under the safety car. As you can see on the map, he's quite far down actually. I can't actually see him, but yeah, he's he's right towards the back. I've just located the red dot going up the hill now, so that's cost him a lot of time. Maybe he got held up in the pits or had to change his front wing. Obviously the Ferrari being the second garage in the pit lane, but now we're chasing down Sergio Perez. Maybe we'll see a move into the Noval chicane where we saw Danny Kvyat retire from this race. Will he go defensive? No, he won't, but we're going to go down the inside, and it's a beautiful move on the Mexican driver. No contact between us, and we avoided the barrier as well, and that's us up into the lead of this race. We're back up where we belong after being in 15th place or something after the collision with the barrier and the safety car, which helped us out massively, I do have to say. So hopefully we can just control the pace for the next 9 laps and come away with our second victory here in the Sebastian Vettel career mode. And we're going to cross the line. It's going to be a new fastest lap of the race, a 1:13.5. I'm not sure if Hamilton will be able to match that. He has got past Lance Stroll and will be chasing down the racing point of Sergio Perez, formerly known as Force India. But Perez will have to pit probably within the next 3 or 4 laps. We'll see those two come into the pits for soft tyres. Currently controlling the pace out in front. Tyres are looking good, only 22% after we've done 10 laps on these tyres, so you can definitely go to the end. As tyre wear isn't too bad, but it can be more effective in the longer races around this track. But we're only doing 25% races, which is only 20 laps here at the Monte Carlo Grand Prix. Through the swimming pool section, I think probably the first time we've taken it quite cleanly actually. Now into the penultimate corners of Raskas, and through the final corner onto the finish straight to start lap number 13, the lucky number 13 as it's commonly known for, obviously. But you can see in the top left, Hamilton's closed the gap by 7 tenths alone on that one lap to Sergio Perez, so maybe struggling on his warm mediums, plus Lewis Hamilton's on fresh mediums and in the Mercedes. Big car advantage for the British driver. We just extend our gap to Perez and also Hamilton along with it. But Hamilton is on fresher tyres than us, so maybe we'll see him pushing in the later stages of this race. But they're still in first. We've been in first pretty much the whole race other than the safety car, if you think about it. But we had that front wing change in the opening few laps, and now we've got ourselves back up into the lead of the race. Hopefully we can keep it clean, not get any damage, and hopefully we don't lose a wheel, and not end up retiring from the session. That would be really disappointing. As you can see, there's a Williams just completely holding up a Red Bull on the map. Look at him through the swimming pool section now, going to Raskas. There's a massive gap to the racing points, as one of the racing points actually comes into the pits. It's Sergio Perez as our fuel lights come on. So I'm just going to conserve fuel for a little bit, as Hamilton has got past Perez after he pitted. So maybe it would have been better for Stroll to come into the pits, maybe, as from a racing points perspective, but they brought in Perez first, the leading driver of the 2 racing points, which makes sense. But now Hamilton's going to be free to charge out our 6 laps remaining, so it will require Hamilton to go 1 second a lap quicker than us, but I reckon we're showing good pace compared to the Mercedes driver, and I don't think a second a lap is the difference. Let's see what Jeff has to say.
Hamilton behind. The gap behind us is 6.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 10 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 15.2.
So there's no information if he's closing or gaining, but judging by the sector splits, we are, I say, pretty matched on pace here, which is excellent news for us, because then we're coming on to lap 15, 5 laps to go, 6 if you include the final lap, and it looks all good from our point of view, POV, whatever you want to use. We've got now 7 seconds, so we are pulling away from Hamilton actually, surprisingly. So yeah, we're showing good pace on these 13 lap old mediums, but tyre wear isn't too harsh around Monaco. Only really the rears get a bit heated with all these low speed corners, so that shouldn't be an issue for us. Now going under the tunnel, one of the only few tunnels in this in the calendar actually. I believe you've got the tunnel at Singapore, Abu Dhabi. I'm trying to think of other tunnels. You could kind of count Suzuka going under the bridge, but does that count as a tunnel? I don't know. But then does the hotel section count as a tunnel? I don't know, but yeah, let's move on from that topic of conversation. We're now still leading the Monaco Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc's not having his best of races, similar to his performance in real life, after starting towards the back of the field.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
5 laps of fuel and 5 laps to go in this race, so we are going to make it in terms of fuel. Lard Stroll's pitted, so that's promoted Max Verstappen into the podium position. As we hit the barrier on the right hand side, I was waiting for that to happen as we just understeered into the corner. We now got more damage on the left hand side.
We've been looking at the damage, and we think you should be okay to continue. It'll cost us a little bit of time, but we're nearly at the end of the race.
Like Jeff said, it's going to cost us not too much, but we're almost at the end of this race. Only 4 laps to go. So, don't hit the wall. We do brush the wall, but no damage added to our front wing. We do have no in place. Well, we have yellow front wing, but visually it will look bad. If we've gone deep into Raskas, almost hit the wall on the left. And I'm now just controlling with one hand as I'm just got an itch again. Apologies. But yeah, we're just controlling the race. It's been quite a calm race, other than the safety car period, which had a few beautiful overtakes and a few collisions. I mean, no collisions at all. I don't know what you're watching, but must have clicked onto someone else's video. Here it's clean racing, 100% clean. The best F1 content you've ever seen. The best content there is on YouTube. It's just a shame people just don't watch We didn't pick up more damage. I'll try and show you guys what front wing damage, what it looks like
Okay, take it easy on the car.
when we go into the
You can't
straight.
sustain
But
this
we
level of
can
damage.
sustain this level of damage actually, Jeff. For your information. Get roasted. Through the swimming pool section now into the final few corners. Kind of been a pretty calm race in these final few laps. I think after lap 11 it's been first place, so pretty good from us. Hopefully, I was going to say,
Be aware we expect the grip levels to start
I thought a
falling
Williams
soon.
was in the points, but then I looked on the map and they're battling for almost last place. Disappointing from them too. If they pitted under the safety car, I reckon they could have got some good points for the Williams team, who haven't scored a point this season. And I don't also think they've got off of the last row of the grid in qualifying. So that's disappointing to see. Hamilton is gaining on us, but it's not going to be enough to stop us winning this race. The only thing that will stop us winning this race is if we retire from the session. I'm going to do some more fuel saving for a little bit. To be honest, I might as well just keep it and lean the whole race. I don't need to push. So I might as well just conserve the fuel and the tyres. And hopefully we can come away with a race victory. It'll be our second race victory after we won the Chinese Grand Prix. Yeah, we won the Chinese Grand Prix. I think we won the Chinese. Yeah, we won the Chinese Grand Prix. Even if we didn't, we still won it. Onto the start of this straight now. We're going to start the penultimate lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. From leading the way almost from start to end after we had our collision with the barrier at exactly this corner here on the left hand side, on lap 2 I think it was. So oh dear, got more front wing damage. It's
but only a few laps left. If you can live with it, stay out.
got flashbacks of Baku after we hit the barrier quite a lot towards the end of the race and ended up with no front wing at all. Beautiful corner cuts, worthy of a warning.
Okay, this is Jeff. I need you to copy that.
It's taken me 19 laps to realise that that was the best thing to do for myself and for you. Oh god. I'm okay. It's the understeer. The understeer's killing me. I don't think we could. I'm okay. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna win even if we don't make it to the next race in Canada, I think, or wherever we are. Final lap of the race, and I'm dying with our orange front wing. Let's see what it looks like. Oh my god, there's like nothing left of the front wing. It's basically a plank of wood at this stage of the race, but we're still winning the race in our beautiful red Ferrari. That's going to be an issue, big issue. This is going to be an even bigger issue. We still have a front wing. It's just pretty much half a plank of wood at this stage. It's like the Caterham team in 2014. It's kind of, you know, just whatever they had that's rectangular and they can stick on the front of their car, except it's red instead of a green. But anyway, after qualifying in first place and without a front wing, we're going to come through the swimming pool section now, slowly into the final few corners through Rascasse. Only one corner to go after this, through the final corner, and we're going to come up to the line, and it's going to be another race win to add to our collection for the Monaco Grand Prix. It's quite a difficult race actually after the safety car. Definitely changed things. Let's hear what the commentators have to say.
Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
Just so I don't get copyrighted.
And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. With that brilliant result, Sebastian Vettel secures top spot in the Drivers' Championship. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Roman Grosjean's my driver of the day. I don't think I've ever seen such a strong performance from him.
Let's move on to the constructors. Ferrari continued to extend the gap at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
A completely wild race as our teammate Charles Leclerc finished in 10th place with Bottas and Albon on either side of him, but Carlos Sainz picking up a 5-second penalty. Let's see if we can... Oh dear. Oh dear. Quite a lot of people actually got 5-second penalties. So we had Antonio Giovinazzi, Ricciardo, Grosjean and Raikkonen for the collision with each other at the hairpin. And then Sainz ignored the yellow flags. Naughty, naughty, naughty. But yeah, good performance from us. We pick up the full 26 points from this weekend, extending the gap at the front to 13 points as Hamilton jumps and overtakes Charles Leclerc. A good showing from Max Verstappen, who's brought his way up into 4th place. And in terms of constructors, McLaren have a good result, getting their way up into the 5th place as Toro Rosso drop all the way down to 8th place, and Williams still without a point. But shockingly, Renault have had a horrible start to the season with their team only scoring a few points, all coming from Nico Hülkenberg. So hopefully we can see Daniel Ricciardo get up there. But that's been the Monaco Grand Prix. I can't remember where we are next week. I think it's Canada, I believe. So stay tuned for Canada or Austria or France or wherever we're at. But until then, goodbye.